Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
This is the Closing Bell on the Stock Movers Report. The companies making moves at the close of U.S. trading with Carol Massar, Tim Stenovec, Romaine Bostick, and Scarlett Fu.
All right, I'm going to go back to the S&P 500 as I normally do. 235 names in that index, folks, gaining ground on this Thursday. 266 to the downside, 3, Katie, unchanged.
All right, you take a look at the sectors. Not looking too good here. Only 3 sectors in the green. You can see a lot of pain coming through the tech sector on this day. In terms of what did well, real estate, which is a little bit curious, up about 0.7%. Financials and healthcare, some of your lone outperformers on a day where really it seems like a lot of the market wanted to fall. All
right, let's get to some of the individual gainers. A lot of red there on that screen. But Google finishing off its best levels of the session, still good for a gain of 2.5%. And we got Amazon out.
Amazon earnings crossing the wire right now in the third quarter. We're going to start with Amazon Web Services. Net sales for that division, $33 billion. That's light. The street was looking for $32.4 billion. So a miss for Amazon Web Services. As far as total sales for the company, that came in at $180.2 billion. That is a beat. The street was looking for $177. We'll just round it up to $178 billion. EPS side, $1.95. The street was looking for $1.58. An operating margin coming in light at 9.7%. The street was looking for 11.1. So just to round up here, operating margin is a miss for the quarter, and Amazon Web Services net sales are a miss, though top line sales as well as the full bottom line adjusted EPS are a beat. You see the shares there moving up about 8%.
Yeah, absolutely. And you take a look at the press release. Andy Jassy, president and CEO of Amazon, talking up the strong momentum and growth across Amazon as AI drives meaningful improvements in every corner of our business. Some comments on AWS too. Andy Jassy saying that AWS is growing at a pace we haven't seen since 2022, re-accelerating to 20.2% year over year. And you can see maybe some of that being expressed in the shares right now.
And we got a forecast coming out now, guys, here on the fourth quarter net sales. The company saying that it's going to see a range of about 206 to 213 billion. The street was looking for roughly about 208 and change. So basically guiding around what the street had already sort of priced in. As far as operating income for the current quarter, the company says expect 21 to 26 billion. So a wide range. The street was looking for something in the middle of that of about 23.8, Carol.
So Katie looked at the commentary from Andy Jassy on AWS. On the store side of things is what I'm looking at right now. Andy Jassy calling out expanding same-day delivery of perishable groceries. They've expanded that to over 2,300 communities. They'll do that by the end of the year. They plan to double the number of rural communities with access to Amazon's same-day and next-day delivery. Still looking for any commentary on the consumer and how they're feeling. And look, we're going to get a lot of questions about those layoffs that we learned about earlier this week as well.
AWS growing at a pace we haven't seen since 2022. There's some commentary from Andy Jassy over at Amazon. Man, that stock, Amazon is up 10% here in the aftermarket. So investors liking what they got here, Katie.
Yeah, absolutely. Significant for Amazon. You consider that relative to its own history, it's the cheapest among the big tech names going into that print. But let's take a look at Roku shares coming through. Full year net revenue forecast meeting estimates here. They boost that full year net revenue forecast. They met their estimates on the look ahead, but you can see that their shares are falling 10% post-market right now. They see full year net revenue $4.69 billion. They had seen $4.65 billion. The estimate had been for $4.66 billion, but still you can see the shares really taking whack in the after hours, now down 14%.
Yeah, I just want to point out too, just real quickly here on Gilead. Gilead actually out with its results as well. It looks like a sort of softness on a couple of key measures. But let's go back to Amazon here because the shares continue to get a strong debate here. The company now saying that it can re-accelerate AWS growth to 20.2% year over year, though we should point out in the most recent quarter, growth in that unit was already about 20%. So we'll try to get you some more details on that. The company also talking about the costs for some of the layoffs, saying that it is estimated that there were about $1.8 billion in severance costs in the most recent quarter, as well as $2.5 billion in costs related to a legal settlement with the Federal Trade Commission here.
Okay, but that was the most recent quarter, so that doesn't account for what happens in the current quarter. I'm getting more numbers here from Amazon, worth going over some of these. They're worth repeating. Net sales for the third quarter, up 13% year over year to $180.17 billion. Online stores net sales up 9.8% to $67.41 billion. The company saying that subscription service net sales excluding FX up 10%, AWS net sales excluding FX up 20%, earnings per share $1.95 versus $1.68 quarter over quarter. Operating income coming in $17.42 billion versus $17.41 billion year over year. The estimate, $19.72 billion. All
right, Zillow dropping in the aftermarket. Let's go to the numbers. Third quarter revenue, folks. That's a beat, $676 million. The estimate on the street was $670.9 million. Third quarter adjusted EPS, 2 pennies better, 44 cents versus an estimate on the street of 42 cents. The fourth quarter outlook, this is always key. Company, Zillow, seeing fourth quarter revenue, $645 million to $655 million. So that, too, is above the street estimate of $644.3 million. And mortgages revenue, $53 million. That's above the estimate of $50.2. But nonetheless, Zillow down about 1% here in the aftermarket.
We've been talking about the rapid rise in shares at Amazon. Amazon, not the best performer in the after-hours trade. It is Atlassian, ticker TEAM, shares up 12% in the most recent quarter, its fiscal first quarter. The company came in with a big beat on the bottom line, $1.04 a share for EPS. The street was looking for 84 cents. Cloud revenue coming in above estimates, too, at about $998 million. And the company guiding for its fiscal second quarter, the current quarter, saying that revenue overall will be about $1.54 billion above street estimates, and it sees cloud revenue in the current quarter, year over year, rising 23%.
Okay, I'm looking at Coinbase, shares higher by just about 1% in the after hours. The third quarter total revenue coming in above estimates ever so slightly, $1.87 billion versus estimates of $1.8 billion. Coinbase third quarter trading volume coming in just shy of estimates at $295 billion. Third quarter subscription and services revenue coming in above estimates at $747 million. Third quarter transaction revenue coming above estimates at $1.05 billion. Shares not moving too much in the after hours, bouncing between gains and losses, down just about 0.1%.
Interesting that trading volume missed on expectations for Coinbase. You think about all the volatility that we've seen in Bitcoin and crypto overall, but not exactly translating into big volumes for Coinbase, at least relative to expectations. Let's talk about Reddit, though, getting those numbers out. Their third quarter daily active users, that figure actually beat estimates, coming in at 116 million. The estimate had been for just over 114 million. You can see the reaction in shares right now. Then you think about the third quarter net income. That measure, big beat there, $162.7 million. The estimate had been for $104 million. So a beat for Reddit when it comes, of course, to daily active users, a very closely watched metric, and also their net income. Shares up 11% in the after-hours trade right now.
All right, so movement by Twilio as well, the cloud computing platform. This company talking about the outlook, seeing fiscal year adjusted operating income of $900 million to $910 million. That is above what the street is looking for. The estimate is $867.9 million. Also, fiscal year organic revenue, they're looking for up 11.3% to up 11.5%. They had seen 9% to 10% growth. So again, we're seeing that one remain almost 6% higher here in the aftermarket.
And as we look at some of the big gainers in the after hours trade, keep an eye on Floor & Decor, the home floor company, if you will, saying that it's going to elevate its president to CEO. Bradley Paulson, who had been president of the company for some time, will be taking over as CEO for Thomas Taylor, who will be elevated to the chairman role here. Those shares up 7%.
Hey, just want to go back. I'm sorry, Romaine. I just want to go back to Amazon, if I may, which has been popping here in the aftermarket. One of the things that investors were looking for is, too, their investments in Anthropic, a key rival to OpenAI. Third quarter 2025 net income includes pre-tax gains of $9.5 billion included in non-operating income from their investments in Anthropic. So, again, this is something that is certainly key, and it'll probably come up on that call.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.